raining in Los Angeles. That is not a sentence that you can say often living here. I woke up to this morning, I'm doing work in bed, and just the sound of the rain started, and you can hear it. And I don't know, there's something kind of like eerie and cool about it when it rains here. And when it rains back home, it's nothing. Or if it rains when I'm up in Seattle, it's nothing. Or if it rains when you're in Florida. But when it rains in LA, there's something about it. And like even my room was a different color. The the smell is a little different in LA. The feel, it's just bizarro. So it's a rainy day in Los Angeles. So I'm kind of here for it. I'm definitely here for it because LA, California needs the fucking rain. But also it's nice to switch it up a little bit every once in a while. Speaking of switching it up, I guess this actually isn't switching it up, but I'm only going to be here for the next half an hour-ish because I run a meeting on Mondays at 2:30. I'm so excited to talk to you guys today about a few different things, and also so sad to talk to you guys today about a few different things. The exciting thing is that HBO is helping my heart heal. What part of my heart? Just the whole thing. They brought us Succession last week, and then this week they brought us back Curb and Insecure for Insecure's final season. 3 of my favorite shows. All are back. Watched all of them between last night and this morning and can't wait to talk about those towards the end so that we can go out on a high note, because before that, we got to talk about this Ruby Rose versus Warner Brothers thing. She hit them. They hit her back. She tapped them back. They hit her back. This is a ping pong match if I've ever seen one. And what am I, some kind of commentator? This is a ping pong match if I've ever seen one. Why, Rox? If I've ever seen a ping pong match, well, this is certainly one. Also, there were some more details about the Rust shooting of the cinematographer and the set and all of that. Plus, I found out something about the Brian Laundrie search that really shocked me. I don't know if you guys had heard this prior to his body being found, but I was like, what the fuck? That I wanted to share with you guys. So all of that and more today live at the Roxy, plus any questions, comments, concerns that you guys want to get in. I wanted to share something with you guys that came in. I was wrapping up World Girls last night, and I got an email notification that I had a Streamlabs on Live at the Roxy. And so I went to it, and I had 2 Streamlabs that came in, and both of them were unbelievably meaningful and very kind. So I'm going to read both of them to you guys. And this is why I do this show. And this is why I dedicated myself to doing 365 days in a row. And this is why I always try to hear everybody out and all sides of everything, and be there and have the rock stars and world friends and be as supportive as I can. It's for these exact reasons. So these are the 2 messages I got last night on my Streamlabs. Matthew in the Streamlabs said, as a gay man, I wanted to say it meant a lot when you asked a gay man's perspective on the size question. Growing up, I always felt like size mattered based on the men I've been with. When I was with a guy, they always told me they liked being with a bigger one. And I appreciate that helped Matthew in that moment. And I'm glad that you guys are willing to share, because why that message was so great is that I threw that out there to the community. Maybe some of our gay rock stars can chime in, and you guys rise to the occasion and you share and you're open, you're honest with each other. And so hopefully that helps, hearing another person's opinion that size is not the only thing that matters. And so I was really grateful to receive that message. And then as we were wrapping up the show, I received this message from Joshua in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider, that said, I don't write here much, but I always watch the show. And I just wanted to tell you that you're a huge role model to me. I look up to you as someone that has helped me get through life. You've saved my life so many times that I'll never be able to fully explain. And if that's not why we have this fucking community, then what the fuck's the point? So thank you for those messages from Matthew and Joshua. I appreciate both of you. I appreciate every single one of you guys and gals and non-binary people and friends and rock stars alike. And, you know, I think the word role model is such a funny word because I think it's such a funny word because, you know, you hear this about the Disney Channel and Nickelodeon kids growing up all the time. Like, You're not being a good role model if like one of them would get too fucked up at a club, or like Amanda Bynes, Lindsay Lohan, all that stuff coming up. You're supposed to be a role model. But I would like to think of a role model as somebody who you look at because you think that they make choices that help people and they make choices that are good and they have a heart that's good. The people who are my role models are people who I feel like bring light into the world and are good. And that doesn't mean they don't fuck up, and that doesn't mean they don't have a darkest day, but in their core, they seem good and they make things or the world slightly better. So I'm really grateful to my role models, and to be anybody else's. I take that seriously. And I'm not saying I'm a perfect role model. I'm not even saying I'm a good one. But if I can be to somebody else, then that's fucking cool. So thank you for saying so. Going back into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Glenn Caesar says, hello and a good day to you, Roxy. Thanks for hanging out with us today. How are you? Peace, bunnies, hugs, and good stuff to you, your dad, Skyjet, Grammy Popo, and your family. Be most excellent to yourselves and each other, Roxy and Rockstars, because you deserve it. If Glenn says we deserve it, then we know we actually deserve it. Glenn also says, I hope you each continue breathing in golden sparkles, bring in love, and blow out stress and yucky energy with every inhale and exhale to break apart and remove all types of energetic blockages so you attain balance and get to experience happiness and joy every day. May you find your never-ending fountain of happiness and joy and get to drink from it whenever, wherever you can. Hope you remember to say to yourself, I'm kind, I'm caring, I'm fully unique, I'm worthy, my story is important, it deserves to be seen and heard. Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate you. Paul through JP in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, fam, no joke. Saw a pretty cool PB&J costume yesterday. Offer still stands. For me, it's either that or Cheech from Cheech and Chong or Mario. Want to be a baddie Peach. Laugh my ass off. At least that's a better pitch. I already told you I'm not down with the PB&J one. Side note, Chappelle is the hero we don't deserve, but the one we need. Respect. What makes you say that? What did Chappelle just do? Are you just talking about all the Chappelle stuff that's going on? I don't know about hero that we don't deserve or whatever, but I put this new moisturizer on my face today, and it just is feeling so it's ever happening as you change your skincare routine and it's like not fully fitting in with your, like, it just feels a lot thicker than what I usually use. I don't know, maybe that's good though. I think I'm not supposed to touch my face as much, but just is like, can you see it's like kind of making me shiny. Also in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Kenu Put in the house. What's up, Kenu Put? Fuck yeah, news from the doctors today. Yes, I'm excited for this. Spot on my lungs is only 5 millimeters. So given my not smoking history, they're not worried about it being cancer. Hashtag smash cancer, stress test, and blood work, and still other things to come. But I'll take that good news today. Thanks, everyone. That's awesome, Kenu Put. Congratulations, and really happy for you. And good on you for looking into the things that you need to look into to keep yourself happy and healthy. So that. All right, send in any questions, comments, concerns. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Would love to hear from y'all. In the super chat right now, we've got Chris Burke coming through. Hi, friend. Nope. Just says, hi, Roxy. It's Avery Burke, of course. Oh, wow. When I just said, hi, friends, and read the wrong part. And then, oh, we miss you, Chris. We love you, Avery. Hi, Roxy. Going to my first Halloween party this weekend with my boyfriend. Whoa. Don't worry, friends. I'll be good, I promise. Love you. Go Astros, LOL. What are you going to be, Avery? Let us know. I'm excited to hopefully you show us, you and your boyfriend, are you guys doing a couple costume? It's very exciting. I love to see you live your life. It's exactly what your dad would want to see too. So it's just awesome. And I don't like the Go Astros, but I'll take it because it's coming in from you. So thank you for giving us an update. Always. We appreciate you. Oh gosh, guys, there's a lot of people on the show. I get emotional sometimes because of all the people on the show that I really care about. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of news. Some of the things that I already previously mentioned. This Ruby Rose versus Warner Brothers thing is continuing. Yeah. That's how I feel about it. Yeah. Oh boy. So I guess that Warner Brothers Television stepped in to defend Dougray Scott because we remember that Ruby Rose had accused him of several things on social media. The studio, and by the way, I think this is coming from Deadline. The studio has called Scott, who played Kate Kane / Batwoman's father, Colonel Jacob Kane. I was just realizing, did I write that? No, I did. Okay. Jacob Kane on CW series, a consummate professional, and stated that there have never been any allegation against him of bullying or of abusive behavior on his part, end quote. The studio also reiterated that Rose was fired over, quote, multiple complaints about workplace behavior. We condemn the comments made by Ruby Rose about Dougray Scott. Warner Brothers has found Mr. Scott to be a consummate professional and never received any allegation against him of bullying or of abusive behavior on his part. Mr. Scott was greatly respected and admired by his colleagues and was a leader on the set. The studio noted in the statement that Warner Brothers Television did not pick up Ruby Rose's option for an additional season because of multiple complaints about workplace behavior that were extensively reviewed by the studio. This is kind of tricky because I don't know what's going on here. I don't know who's 100% in the right. None of us were there. It felt like a lot of the allegations Ruby Rose had would probably be non-disputable, such as injuries. How do you dispute that? The PA, her own. But some of her accusations we didn't hear enough about. Granted, she did this in an Instagram post, such as the Comic-Con thing. That was a little confusing to me. The Dougray Scott thing. And the guy who plays Luke Fox, who I told you guys already had a problem with her referring to him as a kid when he's 30 years old and she has 5 years on him. And oftentimes people refer to people of color as a kid or a boy in order to put them down in a way that I really disliked that she did and thought that was kind of skeevy. But again, I don't know what happened with these people. So for Warner Brothers to then say that they've been doing their due diligence and that she was the one who there were issues with, it's like, okay, but you're not addressing some of her other comments because a lot of the other comments said otherwise. But okay, then this is another thing that happened. This came out after Ruby Rose doubled down on social media over the weekend. And she said, Dougray, I have too many witnesses coming forward with worse than your anger issues, but you're suing me for $10 million because Greg Berlanti shared his lawyer with you. Please come first so I can use the money from that case to take on Berlanti. That was on her Instagram story. It is unclear what Rose is referring to, as Scott has not filed a lawsuit against his former co-star. He did issue a strongly worded statement after Rose's post last week in which she accused Scott of misconduct on set, including allegedly being abusive to women and hurting female stunt double. Remember, but we didn't know what abusive meant exactly. He said, as Warner Brothers Television has stated, they decided not to exercise the option to engage Ruby for season 2 of Batwoman based on multiple complaints about her workplace behavior. I absolutely and completely refute the defamatory and damaging claims made against me by her. They are entirely made up and never happened. What do you guys think about this? What do you think about this? Are you thinking that Ruby Rose is 100% in the right, that Warner Brothers is 100% in the right, and Dougray is in the right? Do you think there's a little bit of truth on both sides? What do you think is going to happen here? How do we hear the end of this? I would be shocked if this was the last we hear from all parties involved, and just sounds kind of gross. This was the initial statement from Warner Brothers to remind you guys, despite the revisionist history that Ruby Rose is now sharing online aimed at the producers, the cast and crew, the network, and the studio, the truth is Warner Brothers Television decided not to exercise its option to engage Ruby for season 2 of Batwoman based on multiple complaints about workplace behavior that were extensively reviewed and handled privately out of respect for all concerned. I saw some people online thinking that there might be something that they have on Ruby that they're waiting to drop. I don't know if that's the case. Would love to hear from all of you guys. Streamlabs in streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. In the super chat, Avery Burke says, sorry, Roxy, I live in Houston. Sorry about the Red Sox. Thanks, my dude. Appreciate you, girl. At least the Patriots did okay this week. Because, oh boy, Boston sports right now. Going into the Streamlabs, let's see what you guys are talking about in here. Jake Yakoveta says, Roxy, you are a good role model, at least to me, even though you're younger than me, and that feels weird. Thanks, Jake. But it is what it is. You've helped me reach clarity in a lot of dark times in my life, and you always hear me when we talk, even if I just vent. Sometimes you just need someone to talk to, and you've always been that for me. Thank you for everything. You have made my life better, and I will always appreciate that, my friend. Thanks, Jake. I appreciate you. You have also made my life better. And yeah. And yeah. Good job, Rox. Saying something really sweet, and then I fell off the cliff. Whatever. I fucking love you, Jake, and you know that. Anyway, moving forward, Streamlabs in, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Get in questions, comments, concerns. Moving forward from the Ruby Rose situation, this is something I wanted to share about Brian Laundrie. And it's not actually about Brian Laundrie, but this was something I learned via TikTok. And I'm somebody who I feel like is pretty actively looking for news updates via Twitter and, you know, talk to people who watch the news, like my dad and Grammy, and talk to Darina, who finds alternative news sources. And there's certain people I follow on social media that I feel like do a good job of reporting the news and whatnot. But this I learned on TikTok from a girl who posted this in a story, and I was like, what the flying fuck? What the flying fuck? Maybe you guys already know this, and maybe you don't. And if you do, maybe I just missed it. But when they were looking for Brian Laundrie's body, which was, as you guys know, we talked about this almost immediately. The entire situation was so fucked up. But while they were looking for his body, they found 9 other bodies. 9. Did you guys know that? After Gabby Petito's disappearance and ultimate death, when Brian Laundrie went missing, when they were searching for his body over that, 10-day period, they were looking for him and found 9 other fucking bodies. Which just goes to show that when we put our efforts towards something, we can find people. But think about all of the fucking missing people out there. 9 other bodies. I did not know that. And I've been trying to stay up with this case. So I started looking into it and the other people. It seems like most of them were women. This is Daily Mail's account of it. They said, massive search for Gabby Petito after the Florida woman vanished in September was found dead in Wyoming National Park has resulted in at least 9 bodies of other missing people being discovered. I really feel like they fucking buried this. Authorities began searching for Petito when she was reported missing on September 11th. Her body was found in Wyoming on September 19th, 2 days after Laundrie, the sole person of interest of her death, disappeared from his home in Florida. The search for Laundrie may have come to an end Wednesday when human remains were found in Florida Reserve, where the prime suspect in her death had escaped. But the national manhunt and suspected sightings of Laundrie by police everywhere from Florida to along the Appalachian Trail to the West Coast had uncovered other tragic victims. The most recent body found was that of 22-year-old Emily Ferlazzo in a case with shocking similarities to Petito's. Ferlazzo was reported missing by her parents on Monday after her 41-year-old husband, Joseph Ferlazzo, returned to her parents' house in New Hampshire to tell them he had not seen his wife since Saturday. The couple were living in a small bus that they had renovated into a home and had driven to Vermont to celebrate their first wedding anniversary. The day after Emily was reported missing, Joseph allegedly confessed to shooting her in the end and disassembling her body in their camper. Here are other ones. Human remains were found in Yucca Valley on Saturday near New Jersey. Woman Lauren Cho, 30, had disappeared on June 28th. The remains of Sarah Bayard, 55, were found off a highway in El Paso County, Colorado, an area Petito and Laundrie had visited and posted Instagram pictures. Investigators found Josu Cauldron, 33, had been stabbed to death along the Appalachian Trail in North Carolina. Rumors quickly began that the body may have belonged to Laundrie, but it did not. Police located the camper that Joseph had ditched this is going back to the first story I was telling you, to discover bags of human remains, a handgun, and a hand saw. The human remains were sent to the medical examiner on Wednesday. Despite his earlier confession, Joseph pled not guilty on Wednesday. Petito's case can be credited in some capacity for 3 unrelated bodies that were found in different states on Saturday, October 9th. Human remains were found in California desert on October 9th. During a search for a New Jersey woman who had disappeared on June 28th, Lauren Cho from Flemington, New Jersey. And she was last seen with her friends and former boyfriend. Friends say she had planned to move out west with her former boyfriend, Chris Orrell. Okay, there's a lot of these. And if you guys are like me reading this, I was like, holy shit. We were looking for one body, and in our 2-week search for one body, we fucking found 9 bodies. The amount of people who go missing and that they're just never found. And thinking about the lack of justice and lack of closure for so many of these families, because we just let it go. We just let it happen that people of color and women disappear, and you just never know what happened to them. And there's no national news, and there's no fucking story. And I found out because of fucking TikTok. Just really, really sad. It's fucked up. So in case you guys didn't know, I wanted to share that because there were other lives that were taken and just never spoken about. Fucking scary. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, fears, because I guess we got to include those as well. Send them in. Let me know what it is you're thinking about this. I've always wondered, I never wanted to work in a newsroom because I have so much respect for the people who do, because you have to think about what they're deciding to do with their lives is kind of to be surrounded by misery all the time. And you have to be a really special kind of person to be able to deal with all the fucking horror stories that people in newsrooms deal with. But I did always want to be in one of these newsrooms to decide, to see how do they figure out what they're reporting on? And how many stories are pitched of people who are missing or dead that don't make the news? It's nuts. How many stories that are not making the news are the ones that we need to hear? I'm fascinated by that, because did none of the newsrooms see that there are 9 other bodies that were found, or just did nobody report on it, or did they report on it and got buried and I didn't see that? How am I finding this out in a fucking 45-second TikTok? How is YouTube the way that people found out where Gabby Petito's body was based on the internet and blogs? You know, how is social media? How? Anyway, moving forward, guys. Streamlabs in your questions, comments, concerns. Let's stay on this fucked up train for a minute before we get to some light. We will get to some light, though, I swear. And you guys add in any light that you need to as well. More on the Rust shooting. It's just, I've said this before, I'll say it again. You're not supposed to die on a movie set. You're definitely not supposed to get fucking shot. And you're definitely not supposed to be the cinematographer and get shot and killed, or the director and get shot and injured. But there was a search warrant that revealed the details of the Rust shooting and of Helena's, her final moments. This was an LA Times article. I was talking about it. We can read a little bit from this and talk a bit about what we know took place on the Rust set. Alec Baldwin was practicing removing a revolver from his holster and aiming it towards the camera during a rehearsal for the movie Rust, when director Joel Souza heard what sounded like a whip and then a loud pop, according to a search warrant that provided grim new details about the final minutes of cinematographer Helena Hutchins' life. In the newly released document obtained by the LA Times on Sunday night, Souza said the weapon had been described to him as a cold gun meaning it didn't have any live rounds. But the gun discharged, striking Hutchins in her chest and Souza in the right shoulder, according to a Santa Fe County Sheriff's detective affidavit used to obtain a search warrant. Hutchins was pronounced dead at an Albuquerque hospital. Souza's statement to the detective offered a new window into the on-set shooting on Thursday that has left Hollywood reeling and calling for safer worker conditions on set. The shooting took place after 6 members of the film's crew walked off set. We had talked a little bit about this. They were complaining of the production, about payment and housing, and the camera operator, Reed Russell, told Detective Joel Cano. Russell and Souza's statement to the detective offered the most detailed chronology yet of how the tragedy unfolded. The day started late because the production hired a replacement camera crew and was working with only one camera, Souza told the detective. Aside from Baldwin, Souza said 2 people were handling the gun for the scene. Armored Hannah Gutierrez Reed and the assistant director Dave Halls, who handed the gun to Baldwin, the affidavit said. Because of COVID-19 safety protocols, Gutierrez Reed set up 3 prop guns on a cart left outside of Bonanza Creek Ranch's church set. The focus of the search warrant. Halls did not know live rounds were in the gun that he handed to Baldwin, and Halls yelled, "Cold gun," according to the affidavit. Souza told the detective that cast and crew had been preparing for the scene before lunch, but then they took a meal break away from the rehearsal area around 12:30. When they returned, Souza said he wasn't sure whether the gun was checked again. He also addressed the possibility of cast or crew bringing onto the set live ammunition and live rounds, which can include potentially dangerous blanks. So let's break that sentence down again. I want to read this again, and you guys tell me what you're interpreting this to be. Souza told the detective, so the director said to the detective, the cast and crew had been preparing for the scene before lunch. Then they took a meal break away from the rehearsal area around 12:30. Then they returned. Souza said he wasn't sure whether the gun was checked again. So the gun was definitely checked before lunch. People go to lunch, and then after lunch, the director's not sure if the gun was checked again. He also addressed the possibility of cast or crew bringing onto the set live ammunition and live rounds, which can include potentially dangerous blanks. So is that sentence saying he's about to address the possibility that this was done on purpose by somebody, that a cast or crew member brought live ammunition? Because I hadn't heard that theory at all, and so why he would be addressing that is beyond me. Are you guys hearing it like that? This is then the quote. Quote, Joel said, as far as he knows, no one gets checked for live ammunition on their person prior and after the scenes are being filmed. The only thing checked are the firearms to avoid live ammunition being in them. Joel stated there should never be live rounds whatsoever near or around the scene. So this sounds to me like they're implying that it's possible that somebody did this. I could be far off on that, but are you guys hearing that? Joel said, as far as he knows, no one gets checked for live ammunition. Why are they trying to plant that in our heads unless they think that that might be an actual possibility? And who would do that? And why? For what purpose? When they came back from a lunch, a creeping shadow prompted the camera to be moved to a different angle, Russell told the detective. As Baldwin was explaining how he was going to draw his gun and where his arm would be positioned, it discharged, Russell said. So during a rehearsal. Souza said he was looking over Hutchins' shoulder when the gun discharged. Hutchins grabbed her midsection, stumbled backwards, and was assisted to the ground. Souza told the detective. Russell recalled hearing a loud bang, seeing a bloody Souza, and hearing Hutchins say she couldn't feel her legs, the affidavit said. Think about those scary fucking moments. Crew members called 911 asking for help. Script supervisor Mamie Mitchell expressed frustration that the assistant director yelled at her at lunch and asked about revisions, according to audio from a 911 call obtained by the Los Angeles Times. He's supposed to check the guns, Mitchell said on the 911 call. He's responsible for what happens on set. So Mamie Mitchell expressed frustration that the assistant director yelled at her at lunch and asked about revisions. And then I guess said that that's who's supposed to check the guns. Mitchell told the 911 operator that she could not say whether the gun was loaded with a real bullet. Howells, the assistant director, did not respond to the Times request for a comment. Santa Fe County authorities are still trying to determine what kind of projectile killed Hutchins. Hopefully, ballistics and forensics involved in that. Ballistics will help us determine that, coming from the spokesperson from the county sheriff's office. The department investigation will be limited to the fatality events immediately preceding it, Rios said. The sheriff's office is looking at the case in a much greater scope as opposed to just a shooting that occurred on set and the loss of life. The investigators, along with sheriff's office, are looking at everything that should have been followed from safety standards on down. What do y'all make of this? What do y'all make of this? I mean, to me, I feel like without saying it, they are implying that they do not know if this was a real bullet or a blank, and had it been a real bullet, which had not previously been in the gun before lunch, that they feel as if this was loaded by somebody who was on set. What? That's wild. But they're saying it in a very calm way that makes it seem like that's not what they're saying. But if I'm reading between the lines, that's what I'm hearing. Or that it is just a blank and it was a misfire that should never have happened. Let me know your thoughts, questions, comments, concerns. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Get them in loud, get them in proud, get them in now, because we're only here for the next 5 minutes, y'all. And I want to be talking about some fun things. No. Oh, no, it's me. The playback's a bitch. Why it starts in the middle of the show sometimes, I guess I'll never know. All right, before we get out of here, guys, send in your questions, comments, concerns, thoughts. Y'all have been really quiet today. Send in that support. Send in that love. I want to talk about the HBO shows. We got to end on a high note. I can't end. We talked about fucking Ruby Rose and Warner Brothers. Blech. We talked about the Rust shooting. Ugh. We talked about the 9 other bodies that was found looking for Brian Laundrie's. Fuck my everything. Fuck the whole fucking system. So we have to talk about something good, and that's television. Thank gosh for entertainment. Thank gosh for entertainment being the thing that makes it so that we can, or at least for me, that I can fucking function, because sometimes you just really effing need this. So a few shows came back. Last week, Succession came back. Last night was episode 2. This week, Curb Your Enthusiasm came back for its 11th season, and Insecure came back for its final and 5th season. And I could not be more excited that HBO is back and better than ever, or as good as ever. HBO is always awesome. I will break down these episodes. I'll do non-spoilers because I know they're too recent to be spoiling. Or is anybody watching? Let me know in the chat right now. Type out the ones of these you're watching. Succession, Curb, or Insecure. Type them out for those of you who are watching these things. And I want to break them down. Let's go into the Streamlabs, see what you guys are talking about first, and then get to this. In the Streamlabs, Glenn Caesar says, may you breathe in more golden sparkles of love as you inhale. Blow out the stress and yucky energy whenever, wherever you need to in each of your days, your weeks, your months, and even your years. Remember, we're all still alive, so be you, a sparkling diamond. All right, I'll be the best sparkling diamond I know how to be. He also says, being unselfishly loving and supportive of others, including strangers, whether it's on the internet or not, as well as being kind, caring, and fully unique, makes you humane, worthy, and a cozy fire to be near. You are fantastic. A priceless treasure and an inspiration. Fantastic. Love to hear it. Glenn also says, Roxy and Rockstars and everyone who's battling, thank you for choosing to. Thank you for showing up and being a support for the people around you whenever, however you can. Doing all of that, even though it's tough. A tough challenge makes you a winner. Winner chicken dinner. When you win, we all win. Thanks, Glenn. When you guys win, I win. That's the way it all works. Thanks for that support. Everybody else, send in your Streamlabs before we get out of here. Let's see what you guys are watching in here. Okay. So Jimmy's watching Curb, Matt with Curb, Andrew with Curb, DK with Succession, Pink Sweets with Succession. Some of you guys not watching any of these. If you are not watching Insecure, Succession, or Curb, I mean, you got to be watching at least one of those, probably all 3, but you guys, you got to get on it. You've got to get on it. Succession gives me all the feels. Last night's episode, I'm loving what we're doing this season, which is a potential battle to take down the father. What are they going to do? Who the fuck knows? But I need to know. I love the sibling drama. I love the parental drama. I love watching rich pricks be rich pricks. It's fucking funny. It's really well done. The tension is high, and I'm into Succession this season and every season. Curb Your Enthusiasm. If you're somebody who fell off, like a lot of people did, I don't know why you did, but it was a great premiere episode. I loved last season. I don't think you need to have watched the previous seasons to just watch this. Just start. If you fell off or if you've never seen the show, I think you'll fucking get it. Just start. It's funny. You can watch all of them, but this is good. This is a good one. It is, and in this episode, we see Larry David at his Larry Davidiest. We are dealing with a pandemic world. It's kind of a post-pandemic world, a world in which we are seeing things like COVID hoarding and whatnot, but we still are interacting with people and not doing it with masks. So I think that it was a really fun premiere. Let's see. Ben Rayner says, watch Curb. Larry is in the right. Susie plopped. I kind of think Susie plopped too, but I'm for a 50-50 split for finances, And then he didn't have to plop to show the plop. The plop to show the plop was a problem. Jimmy Nails in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider says, oof, I got hit by a car today. I'm okay, but I had to stay home for my new gig. Oh no, Jimmy Nails. Please send vibes that it doesn't cost me the job. If it does cost you the job, then they can go fuck themselves. And those are the kind of people you want to work for anyway. Keep us posted on that. Thank you for being supportive and bringing together such a loving group. Curb could go on forever, and I'd never stop watching. I know. I feel that way about Curb Your Enthusiasm, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They could go on for however many seasons, and I would just simply never fucking stop. Jimmy, we're thinking about you. Hope you're okay. I know you said you are, but that fucking sucks, and get better soon. Hopefully your injuries are not too severe. Insecure being the last one. This is the final season. I don't know what we're going to do here. I'm liking that Issa and Molly are getting back on the same page. For those of you guys who watch, I need to know if you're team Issa or team Molly, though, because I feel like both of them are in the wrong all the time, but I love their friendship. That what happens to them in this episode is so fucked up. And then at the very end of the episode, we get that love interest update. I don't want to give more than that, but I'm like, what? Y'all really going to do this to me in the final season? Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? I got to know more. I always watch afterwards when Issa talks to the producers and directors and they do the whole behind the scenes thing. I watch that for all these shows. I like to know more. There's always good insight there. So, but you guys are the best insight. So let me know what it is you think. We are getting out of here in the next 2 minutes. So send in any last minute questions, comments, concerns, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider. Shout out to all of you guys who show up to give your support. Louis Dezine, John Perillo, Matt Munoz, Jimmy Nails, Joseph Ashley, Andrew W., Silu Bonino, Ken Uput, Kurt Hagens, Christian Hardesty, DK, Spooky Haunts, to Ben Rayner and Jake Yakavetta, Kareen, not Karen, good distinction, Aaron Hall, Mark Jason Ali, and everyone in here, Pink Sweets, my girl. I appreciate all of you guys for showing up. Another Streamlabs rolling through, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider. Coming in from Jake Yakavetta, who said, good vibes to Jimmy. Also, glad to see Christian got home safe after a 16-hour flight, even though he's a fucking Duke fan. But he's cool, I guess. Keith, I'm not so sure about. Oh. Still the Keith drama. Who Christian Hardesty is got home after a 16-hour flight. Is that in the Discord? I missed it. I gotta check that this morning. But good for everybody who's home safe and sound. Yep. Glenn Caesar in the Streamlab says, lastly, Roxy and the Rockstars are the best. Roxy and the Rockstars are number one. Roxy and the Rockstars are the best. Roxy and the Rockstars are number one. Yeah. You the fucking best. You the fucking best. You the fucking best. Best people around. Thanks for being dope. I like the remix, baby. Thanks, Glenn. Appreciate that, my dude. All right, guys, let's get the fuck out of here. Thank you for being here. Much love to all of you guys. Stay safe, stay sane. Put down your toilet seat and lid. Don't tremble at the Holocaust. Brett Miles Jonathan arrests the cops who killed Breonna Taylor, all three of them for killing Breonna Taylor. Make your bed. Check your internet. You can do so by blowing on it. And I will see you tomorrow for SEN Live. And then here tomorrow at Live with Roxy, I'm seeing Eternals tonight. So I will be giving you guys some Eternals talk, but non-spoiler, of course. All right. See you then. Bye, friends. Later.